It's time for Bigger Than Big. It's time for Digi Prepaid XL28.
That's right. Complete your prepaid with Digi Prepaid XL28. Enjoy big value and get 250 minutes, 250 SMS, 500 megabytes plus unlimited high-speed social messaging. Dial *116# to subscribe today.
The Light Breakfast with Steve and Shaz. Brought to you by Maybank.
Transact your way to super prizes at Maybank to You or double your entries with the Maybank to You app.
So in this hour, we'll be speaking to Yvonne Foong. She has been battling neurofibromatosis type 2 since 2002.
And even though she is hearing impaired and losing her vision, she is working very hard, of course, to create awareness for neurofibromatosis type 2 by giving motivational talks and even writing books about it. Neurofibromatosis type 2 is an inherited disease. The main manifestation of the disease is the development of symmetric, non-malignant brain tumors in the region of the cranial nerve, which is the auditory vestibular nerve that transmits sensory information from the inner ear to the brain. Now, most people with this condition also experience visual problems. NF2 is caused by mutations of the Merlin gene, which seems to influence the form and movement of cells. The principal treatments consist of neurosurgical removal of the tumors and surgical treatment of the eye lesions. Now, the underlying disorder does not have any therapy due to the cell function caused by the genetic mutation. There is no cure.
Well, we're happy to have Yvonne Foong with us in the studio. She is someone who has been battling from this life-limiting illness since 2002.
Welcome to the show, Yvonne. Seeing how this is a life-limiting disease with the inevitable outcome being death, have you actually come to terms with dying?
I was taught to accept that life is mortal. Sickness and death is a natural course of life, and I was taught to accept it. And when I watched my aunt when she battled cancer with acceptance, I saw that she could deal with it very easily compared to those who are fearful of death. So from then on, I learned that with acceptance, I would be able to deal with life smoothly and without fear.
But what are your feelings at the moment? Are you sad? Are you angry? Are you worried?
I'm not angry or sad. In fact, I felt relief when I was diagnosed. This was because when the symptoms started appearing when I was a teenager, it was very scary because my body was deteriorating without reason. For no reason, I started becoming deaf, unable to walk and all. So when the diagnosis finally came, it was a relief. Finally there is a reason for my deterioration. It was a like. So I was very glad with the diagnosis.
Yvonne, knowing that your time here is limited, is this what motivates you to write books, articles, and do motivational talks? What do you hope to achieve doing all this?
My motivation for doing what I do actually started when I was a child. I did not have this condition until when I was a teenager. But long before that, I've always wanted to help people. When I was 9 years old, one day I watched the TV and saw a psychologist talking to someone, providing emotional support. And that person felt very encouraged and comforted. And I saw that on TV, and I told myself that was what I wanted to do. The motivation for this desire to help people was from my early childhood. My father suffered brain hemorrhage, so I felt the fear, I felt the darkness that befell my family and I. So I was a very scared and traumatized baby. So I wrote to grow up to one day to help people because I believe that there are many other children and people out there who are similarly scared and lost, just as I was. So that was my motivation for assisting people. Later on, when I was diagnosed with NF became the opportunity for me to pursue my childhood dream, to help people.
Neurofibromatosis is a life-limiting disease which impacts your hearing as well as your sight, and it creates growths that sort of act like tumors, and there are certain operations that need to be performed continuously to remove these growths. In fact, Yvonne Foong is someone who has been battling this life-limiting illness since 2002.
That's right. And also the underlying disorder does not have any therapy due to the cell function caused by the genetic mutations. There is no cure. Now, Yvonne, your family has been amazing. Now, Yvonne, how have your family been throughout this journey? It can't have been easy for your mother and father.
Well, in the beginning, when I was a teenager, my mother was very bothered and troubled by the family financial crisis and infighting. So I had to insist a lot to get medical attention, demand. Later on, when my doctors in Malaysia could not treat me further and I had to raise funds to go to America to save my life, my mother was reluctant because she thought that it was too much trouble. But I insisted, and so my mother also helped. Because of my determination and insistence, eventually it proved fruitful and my life extended and I received good quality of care while other patients in Malaysia deteriorated, but my health was maintained. So my mother saw the benefit of my determination, and gradually my family, my relatives also came forward to help financially. Some of them came forward. As for my father, because my father was limited by his brain hemorrhage, so he could not help. But I know he wanted to, and I know by the time my father died, he was very proud of me for my achievement.
Well, she's certainly an inspiration to all of us, doing so much of work to create awareness for neurofibromatosis. We're speaking to Yvonne Foong this morning. She's 28, and since 2002, she's been slowly deteriorating health-wise. She has lost her hearing, but yet she continues to do some great work in an organization called Work for Gratitude.
Okay, Yvonne, how did Work for Gratitude begin, and what can we do to help?
When I was raising funds from 19 years old to today, while I was doing that, a lot of publicity was created. And as I do that, a lot of people from the public came forward to me. People with cancer and other debilitating medical conditions, including people who have psychological problems like emotional and mental problems, people facing tribulations. So they admire me for my ability to deal with crisis. So through this process, I realized that there are many people out there who need assistance, and I have tried to help a few people with my condition raise funds to acquire medical care, about 100 to 200,000. So I was doing it on ad hoc basis all these years. But eventually I know that this was not enough. I could not help people continuously alone like this. I need to do something more concrete, something like a foundation, because with a foundation I can help more people. And also what I can do with a foundation is that I can create nationwide awareness, even improve the situation in Malaysia, the healthcare situation. And so I decided that I want to set up a foundation. And I also, after much contemplation, I have found that the best way for me to do this by replicating my fundraising method all these years, by setting up a company to raise funds formally. Previously, I was raising funds informally. I was raising funds informally as a individual. But right now, my fundraising target is much more, millions. So that's why I set up a company, and I name it Works of Gratitude. The reason is because what I'm doing today is a way for me to pay it back by paying it forward by helping others.
How can the public help?
You can help me reach my goal. I need 1 million ringgit to set up a foundation as capital. You can help by buying my book, my biography. It only costs $30 a copy. You may also invite me to speak. I'm a motivational speaker. Despite being deaf, You may also pledge and donate lump sums like 10,000 to 100,000. And of course, you may also have to spread the word. Help us raise awareness for neurofibromatosis.
Okay, well, it's certainly been an inspiration and a pleasure to have Yvonne Foong with us in the studio. Of course, for more details for Work for Gratitude, you can go to our Facebook page. We'll put up all the details there at fb.lightfm.com.my.